Form 3 student, hello Form 3 student, and I would like to go through the quiz, which is about the 3.1, 3.2, and also the quiz 3.1 and 3.2. Okay, and then for the 3.1, actually I have mistaken as 1.1 in the Google Classroom, so please change it. And then but you just two quizzes, and then I think you can recognize which is which. And then for the manufacturing system of the factories, and there should be some input and also output, but input will not just change to output by themselves. We have to do something. Okay, so that's something we need to do. We will call it as process. Okay, so for the input of the factories, and then raw material, physical input, it will include raw materials such as paper, printing, ink, so on and so forth. And not just the raw material, we needed to make the book and also make the newspaper, whatever. Apart from the raw material, we should also have the land. Okay, we cannot build make a factory without anything, right? Without any place. Okay, we gotta find a place. Okay, so accordingly, land is also important for the physical input. How about the cultural input? Cultural input may include the capital, labor, technology, market. Some of you are talking about historical factor. I think it's also okay. Agglomeration, those kind of thing also okay, but if you want to make sure that whether your answer is right or wrong, maybe you can approach your geography teacher for seeing whether you are making a right answer, and or instead if you are really wrong, and then you can know what's going on if it is wrong. Okay, so next one, as I've said before, and then we cannot do we have to do something in order to make the input become output, right? Okay, just like when you are eating and there will some output. I'm not going to say what is that output, but the input, the food will not directly change to that output, right? Okay, we have to process, we have to go through a digestive process, simulation process, those kind of biology lesson, and then it will become output. So accordingly, there will be some processes. So bear in mind, there are some processes including paper cutting, printing, packaging, so on and so forth. And how about the output? Output, I think, it's quite obvious that we are just having two kinds of output, which is useful output and also useless output. Okay, and then after all, we have when we have produce that kind of output, and then we will for the useful output we can sell it and then obtain the income, and then it will become cash, and we invest back to the manufacturing system, so that the manufacturing system can be sustained. Okay, so for this part 0.5 mark per point. Okay, so don't mix up, because for the next part, which is this part, this part, and this part will be 1 mark per each point. And this for here, it is okay to have different kinds of answer. For example, for the first one, heavy industry, if it is talking about heavy industry, not just automobile, we can do other things such as the shipbuilding, or what kind of thing, iron steel. Okay, it is also okay, but you better tell me, shipbuilding, automobile manufacturing, because my Apple Pen is too large, and then because if I'm writing too not that bolded, and then you cannot see what's happening, so that I just skip the words of manufacturing. But after the product, you would better tell me automobile manufacturing. Okay, instead of just writing automobile. For my class, sorry, I won't give you a mark. Okay, 3D and 3E student, you are very poor. Maybe I don't know whether ABC is having mark or not, but for my class, sorry, if you just tell, car, if you're just telling me car as a industry, sorry, no mark. You have to tell me car manufacturing. Okay, car fabricating, those kind of things. Okay, because you need to, because it's not just manufacturing, it can be as assembling 嗰啲點講組裝啊，OK 因為架車唔一定係 就咁做出嚟噶嘛，咁你可能要透過唔同零件組裝啊嗰啲咁樣噶嘛。So we can have manufacturing, we can have assembling, we can have fabricating. So everything is quite different for this kind of terminology. So that in order to play safe and to make sure others knows what you are talking about, you better make it more specific instead of just telling me something layman. Okay. Next one, light industry and also for the labor intensive industry, which is more or less the same. Okay. For the light industry, we are having garment. Okay. And also labor intensive, it can also be toys. Okay. So which is mostly most of them light industry are similar as the labor intensive industry. So when you are calling out some examples about light industry, and then meanwhile it is actually kind of labor intensive, most of them they are coming along with each other. So garment is also okay lah, garment manufacturing is okay, so toys making is okay lah. Those kind of things is also fine. How about capital intensive? For the capital intensive, we are talking about we are investing a lot of money in specific factories. For example, the oil refinery. Okay, 煉油廠啊。Okay, the crude oil will be differentiated or classified, not classified, distilled into different kinds of petroleum product by this oil refinery. OK， 嗰啲原油咧就會可能透過蒸餾嘅方法咧就會變做唔同類型嘅一啲石油產品啦。For example，瀝青啊，for example the gasoline 啊，petroleum 啊，gasoline 啊，and also 仲有啲咩？lubricant those kind of things. Okay, so capital intensive, which may include the oil refinery, because we need to invest a lot in order to make a oil refinery. Let's think about in Togwa One, there's a China's gas factory. Okay, which is just next to the Channel One. Which is next to the Kowloon City Piers. Okay, and then you can see right there there are a lot of different kind of gas storage, pipe, and so on and so forth, other kinds of things. And so you can see the companies have invested a lot to producing such a factory. So accordingly, oil refinery is capital intensive. Okay, how about high technology? High technology, just like the iPhone. Today is October of 14, and you can see in my iPad. And then today is the release of the iPhone 12. Okay, you have heard that there's a lot of different kinds of high technology is being built in the iPhone. For example, 5G lah, LED OLED monitor lah, so on and so forth. So mobile phone making will or assembling just like those in Foxconn, Fuzihong, okay, and in China in Shenzhen, okay, which is having a lot of technology built in the mobile phone. So accordingly, we are having a high technology right there. Okay, so this is the end of the 3.1, and also I will talk about the 3.2 with you. Okay, 3.2, which is having this kind of thing, right? And then stage 1, stage 2, and also stage 3. Okay, so for the stage 1, which is talking about the industry before 1949. Okay, some of you are just saying, oh, lower part lah, upper part lah. I saw every different kinds of thing. I saw lower 啦、upper 啦、southern 啦、eastern 啦，我東南西北都差唔多儲齊晒，咁就好鬼搞笑嘅。OK but anyway, you better tell me this is northern part of Hong Kong Island. Okay, some of you may be mixed up Hong Kong Island with Hong Kong. Okay, Hong Kong Island is talking about this frog. Okay, this look like a frog. Okay, and then next one. Let's see, wait a minute. Where is the entire left? Right here, yeah. And then for here, for the 1950, some of you just saying that, oh, it is in the Sanpo Gong, Tugua Wan. I accept this kind of answer because I think you are really telling the the industrial area is extending from the northern part of Hong Kong Island to the Kowloon Harbour, okay, not Kowloon Harbour, to the Kowloon area, but Kowloon Peninsula, such as To Kwa Wan, okay. How about the 160 decades? Along two sides of the Victoria Harbour, you can also name the place, such as Kwun Tong, Tsuen Wan, Chai Wan to Sai Wan, which is more extensive, okay. So you have to tell me some examples of the place, mainly when it comes to this kind of spatial distribution question. From previous knowledge, I think Mr. Mac or Mr. Wong have taught you this already. Okay, I do think that you have to tell me not just the direction, you have to also tell me the place name of this kind of district. Okay, so let's unlock this one, okay, and then this one. So accordingly, some of you very funny saying this one as the labor factor of Hong Kong, but not only labor, okay. Bear in mind push factors, which is talking about, oh, it's no good and then we are leaving, something which is pushing you, okay. Just like in the morning, 3D students should have this kind of experience, and in the morning you found your classroom is having Mr. Leung here, and then Mr. Leung is very horrible, and then Mr. Leung is pushing you out from the classroom, right? So Mr. Leung is having some push factor for you, okay. What is push factor? Most of the manufacturing industry are labor intensive. If Hong Kong is having a high labor cost, okay, for example, you need to have this also an effective example in your essay also, okay. If you are having 10,000 per month, you have to use 10,000 per month to acquire workers in Hong Kong factories. It's quite expensive. Why? Because look at the Shenzhen area, look at the Zhujiang Delta area. We may just need the 3,000 to 5,000 per month to acquire workers. So this is the pull factor of Zhujiang Delta. For example, sometimes Mr. Leung will treat you good, okay. If you're working hard, I will give you some cheap, okay, later lah, because this for this few days, few months, let it be. I really haven't see you every. I really don't know all of you yet, so that I really cannot give you some cheat. Okay. But anyway, I will give you some cheat. Moreover, the Zhujiang Delta region is also giving a lot of pull factors, okay, which attract you, not attack. Most of the students, they would love to mix these two up, okay. I want attract, not attack, okay. Attract, which is ATTRACT, not attack, always mixing up, okay. So how about the land, high land price, which will cost the high production cost. Just like Hong Kong, you are very hard to buy a flat. Maybe your dad and mom is going to buy you a new flat because you cannot own one if you are just having just undergraduate and then not making a lot of money, and then you are very hard to buy a flat in Hong Kong. But how about in Zhujiang Delta? Zhujiang Delta, it can change to another wording, which is called the Greater Bay Area, 大灣區. Okay, so what is Greater Bay Area? And when you pass by the property agency in Hong Kong, sometimes you may find some property which is lower than 1 million Hong Kong dollar. But sorry, most of them are in Zhongshan, Zhuhai, those kind of Zhujiang Delta region. So it is convincing that the land price in Zhujiang Delta is low. So the production cost is reduced. Okay, how about the land availability? Shortage of land may force the firm to carry out production operated in affected factories. This hinder the expansion and lower the production efficiency. You can think about it. In Hong Kong, actually, we are having very little space for development for even in the industrial area, just like the area next to us. Okay, we are already very compact in Togwa One. Okay, and also we are having a lot of industrial factory. Well, okay, but how about those industrial factory? Can they have further room for expansion? I don't think so. Okay, so this is also the problem of the land availability. Okay, extensive flatland with basic facilities and also infrastructure such as electricity, water, and supply. Okay, water supply. Okay, and what is infrastructure? I would like to draw your attention to this one. Okay, infrastructure is talking about basic facilities. 基建. Okay, for example, the electricity and water supply is most of the Zhejiang Delta is fine already. Is available already. Okay. So in general, the condition is good, and then so as well as the flat land. So in general, the production environment in the Zhejiang Delta is quite pleasant and decent. So most of the country, most of the factories are going to set up their factories in there. Okay, you may ask how to do your essay in no matter in your midterm exam or the workbook essay unit 2, which is just putting this into your essay, and then I think it can compromise for at least half of your essay already. And then sometimes you gonna elaborate. OK 你有時候喂你寫完啲 point 之後你舉下啲例子。For example, this is the examples already for Hong Kong. If you want to acquire a worker, 10,000 at least. Okay, no doubt, right? So which is more or less the end of the answer explaining section for the quiz 3.1 and 3.2. See ya.